What is going on, boys and girls of YouTube? So today I wanted to hit you with a top 5 gods essentially in this patch. Top 5 gods to play, ban, whatever you're looking at, whether you're looking at what to practice, to prep to go into ranked, or you're in ranked and you want to know what to get rid of, what to play, what to focus, what to top pick. I said some random person invited me to a party. I don't even know how people know I was online. Anyway, that's what I wanted to cover today, because every time I have a video go up or I'm on stream, I get asked, what should we be banning? What should I be playing? What's the best in this role? What's the best in that role? What is going on? Can you spam invites now? Is that like a thing? Yeah, I had to go on D&D because I don't know what's going on. So, scratch all that. Don't worry about it. We'll go ahead and talk about this. We'll get in these top 5 gods. But I won't say it's necessarily in this particular order. You can kind of look at this however you want, but there's going to be 5 bans on each team, and these are gods that you should be looking at getting rid of. Yes, just preemptively, Kleena is still very strong, Bastet is still very strong, but they are beatable. They are not so strong you can't deal with it. They aren't gods you have to worry about, in my opinion. They're annoying, but every god's pretty annoying right now. I still think you should look at playing them because they should be getting through. They shouldn't be being focused on bans. So let's go ahead and talk about the other ones. First of all, just an honorable mention before I get into it, Amaterasu, the only warrior that I see overly performing. It's getting banned at a competitive level. You go Golden Blade in the solo lane and you kind of just do a ton of damage while also being a little tanky. Can even be played in the jungle. It's one of the few warriors that works, and if you know how to play Ama, that's kind of the key. You can't just pick up these gods and play them because you want to in a ranked game. You need to go play them in casuals and learn them and figure them out first, because they do not play for you. None of these gods will just play for you necessarily. But I wanted to mention Ama because Ama is kind of beast moding. So if you're a good Ama player, play Ama in the solo lane. You should have a lot of fun. So next up, we're gonna have a couple hunters in this one. Only a couple, luckily. Amuzan Cap, and it's gonna be multiple reasons behind this. Amuzan Cap, hunters are performing at an insanely high level, right? A lot of team comps have 2 hunters. So Amuzan Cap is gonna allow you to go to ability-based hunter. You can go crit. I would probably go crit if you're looking to carry, but you can go an ability-based hunter, especially if you're queuing with another hunter player. So that way you have, your auto attack, hard carry hunter, and then you've got this big burst mage-like hunter that has better clear than a mage and better pressure and presence than a mage. And Amuzan Cap is important, at least in my eyes, because solo lane is playing AMC and it's working because of the movement, the safety, the ability to kill another tank if they do pick tanky. Mid lane is working because of your clear and poke potential plus your rotations. And then the ADC role, it's working. And you know why it's working? The ADC role, it's a hunter, and the hunter role, crazy, wild, right? AMC is a lot harder to play. And I'm going to say in my opinion, and in my opinion, not for me to play, in my opinion, for the average player to play AMC is difficult. They struggle on it. Your positioning matters a lot because you don't have actual movement. You have movement speed, but you don't have a movement ability. So if you're ever out of position, you're probably dead. You also have a major skill shot in that ultimate. A lot of people struggle to use it and hit it consistently. If you're hitting that ult, you're going to turn and shred in a lot of 1v1s or even, frontline killing potential situations. If you aren't hitting those consistency, you need to go practice. You need to go play a lot of casuals on this character. You need to work on your positioning, work on being safe all the time, and understanding when to be aggressive. That will make you a much stronger player overall when you pick AMC. Plus, you have the variety. This could be going any wet role. Nobody knows who's where, what's what right now. That gives you an advantage when picking this god. Next up on the list, like I said, there's no particular order. Just kind of how I'm looking at it, is a jungler, and it's an assassin. It's Mercury. Golden Blade is super strong right now. Nothing compares to it, period. The reason for that, even if you're a great farming player, if you aren't playing in a high setting where your teammates are also very good farming players, you're going to struggle to consistently keep up with all the camps, with doing your teammates blue for them, with helping on purple when they're going to get evaded, with doing your own buffs if you don't have Golden Blade. Golden Blade's going to allow it not to be easier, but potential. It's going to give you the potential to actually do that because you're going to be clearing so fast. And anytime you go into a lane, you're also going to clear the waves faster, get you more XP, allow you to rotate around the map more for more farm, and to be a part of more ganks. Plus, on top of that, Mercury is the only character I can think of that can do whatever he wants to do, back, get his item, and run straight up a lane, and then ult down the lane for a free gank very consistently with this meta. because everyone's tankier, everyone's farming slower. So there's a lot of gank potential right now, and Mercury just excels at it. Then on top of all of those things, mainly build based, crit, right? Crit is super strong right now. Hunters are destroying with crit. Everyone's crying about crit. Mercury is also doing very, very well with crit. You go a high burst crit build, have it on Smite Source, and then I sell Golden Blade late game for Aussie when you no longer need that crazy farm potential. So then you have insane lifesteal as well. You have pen, you have everything you need on this really, really strong character that's just working great in this meta. If you're an assassin, if you're a jungle player, play Mercury. Get used to the playstyle, get used to poking with your one consistently, get used to the quick rotations, and just play this character a lot, because if they nerf crit, which is what everyone's asking for to nerf hunters, it's also going to nerf Mercury. It might be indirectly, it's going to nerf Mercury. There's no way it doesn't. That always happens. So we might see a meta where Mercury's no good again. And if that happens, I want you guys to get the opportunity to play him and have some fun on him and, you know, enjoy yourself. And get some free wins in the meantime as well. Plus, he's a very easy assassin to play right now once you fully understand late game team fights. The early game is super easy. Everyone can pick him up and play early game. Everyone can play mid game. It's late game where you have to start paying attention to the team fights and when to engage and when to disengage, when to just look for poke. You start playing a lot different in the higher levels. Maybe in the lower levels, you can just full engage in one shot. You probably get a lot of pentas right now on Mercury as well. So go ahead, play it, have fun, do you. Next up on the list, might be surprising to a lot of people. Similar to the AMC situation, Baron is killing it. And it's because pure mages haven't really been performing, at least off the rip of this patch, very well. Pure mages being your high burst, high damage mages, because they can't clear the waves anyway, right? A lot of mages are struggling to clear waves, like just clear their mid wave until higher levels, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I've had people tell me like on Scylla they can't clear till 12. That makes that god hard to play. Someone like Baron, you have really short cooldowns. You have 2 abilities that can be used to wave clear. On top of that, he can be played in other roles. It's not even the mid lane beast. It's solo lane beast because he can go damage and a little hybrid if he wants to, if he needs to, or you just go full damage. Then support. He can go full support and just spam and people can't kill him. In support, he's got sustain off of his 2, which is actually team fight like changing, just turning. It turns team fights instantly. You have a consistent slow root that nobody wants to beat. You have a CC immune ultimate that can CC multiple targets, slow multiple targets, do damage to multiple targets, and then hard CC one target, making them an easy focus, especially if they're a frontline of any kind or just someone without beads. He can be up in their face without dying because of the sustain, because of the spammed abilities, because he's building super tanky in that support role where, you know, many other people are just building full damage. It allows him to work great in the support role. Then in the solo lane, similar situation, except for he can kind of free farm because early game it's hard to kill Baron right now. It's hard to kill anybody. Allows you to free farm early, build damage, get your clear online faster, poke more, and then start rotating into those team fights. If you are focusing on the team fights in the mid to late game, you can build hybrid and you start to be tankier. You're just a lot stronger. Then he can still play mid if you are looking to play a mage mid. So it makes him another god that can rotate between 3 roles. Just like AMC can rotate between 3 roles. People aren't going to know what lane you're going into. They're not going to know their matchups. They're not going to be able to counter pick you. It's going to be fully in your favor when you're picking Baron, as long as they don't know who you are that's picking it. So Baron is definitely on the list. I prefer right now to ban Baron because even in casuals and ranked, if the person's just running around spamming abilities, even if they're not in the right place, the right time, if they're just running around being annoying, it sucks to play against a Baron like that. So I like getting rid of Baron, like love when Baron's gone and nobody's picking Baron. A lot of people do struggle at picking Baron. Does have I won't say a high skill. It doesn't take high skill to play him. It just takes some time. You need to get used to his timing on his abilities. They're weird. The 2 takes a second to go off. The 1 is a little weird on the placement. The 3 is a little different than other abilities in the game. So go play Baron in some casuals, get 5-10 games in, and then take him right into ranked and have a lot of fun. Next up on the list, another assassin. Shouldn't be surprising. This has been banned in every single one of my ranked games, and I talked about this in my rank series. Bakasur is being banned. Golden Blade's strong and overly strong, just like I said on Mercury. He also can invade whenever he wants and eat a creep. At level 1, those creeps are what's the ability called for Bakasur on S2? Eat minion. I didn't even know it was called that. So he can eat minion on the level 1 creeps, the speed buff, the red buff, all those creeps. The first spawn. After that, he can't. The first spawn, he can eat them. full health. So you can run into the blue buff, eat the creep, and then go help on your blue buff or just go back to your speed or do whatever you want. So it allows for these weird starts, which people can't keep up with. Plus you have crazy farm consistently because of that eat minion, and you're going Golden Blade. On top of that, everyone's tankier. So this is what we all ask for. We want multiple abilities that need to land to kill somebody. When you want multiple abilities to land, that takes time. That could take 10 seconds. It could take 15 seconds. It depends on the stage of the game, the cooldowns on everybody in the match. Auto attack gods don't have that issue. They just need to auto attack. So in a gap, say it takes 10 seconds to kill somebody, right? Somebody with an ability on a longer cooldown isn't going to take 10 seconds. They're going to take 15. They're going to take 12. They're going to take whatever it is. Well, an auto attack jungler is always going to take 10 seconds because they're just autoing the whole time. So Baka excels in this meta that is being forced right now because it takes a little bit longer to kill everybody. So Baka can consistently kill them on that timer rather than waiting for abilities to come back up and trying to reposition and move around. Golden Blade applies to this even more because he's farming amazingly, but then his team fights are enhanced by Golden Blade because the Golden Blade is going to bounce off of the people while AoE autoing. So when you Bakasura ultimate and you auto 2 people, the Golden Blade is hitting both. Meaning, if I have a Ra in front of me and I have an AMC in front of me and I use my ult and I auto once, auto hits, right? My 3 hits, my procs, my kins, all that hit. Then the Golden Blade hits the Ra and 50% of that damage hits the AMC. The Golden Blade also in that same auto hits the AMC and 50% of that damage hits the Ra. If you're going crit, half of those crits are really big hits, right? So you're critting for 600. Those are 300 hits that are reflecting back. That's a lot of extra damage in one auto. You have to realize that is happening and how much damage you're getting off of Bakasura. Because he has this big AoE auto that's able to hit multiple targets, he becomes even more valuable in the early and mid game fights. And then late game, it's all about positioning, same as Mercury. So Bakasura went from literally being dog to being a very, very strong, easy to play jungler. That's the thing. In a meta that's new, where people are still learning, if you're playing something that's easy, hard to mess up on, it's easy to play, you're going to consistently do well. That's what warriors were before. Warriors were easy to play. Most of their abilities were not hard to hit. If they missed them and took some damage, it didn't matter because it wasn't going to kill them. They could just wait for the abilities to come back up. So the easier the god is to play, the less penalty there is for mistake on a god. Like Bakasura has it as well because he can eat a minion in a team fight. He can go off and go heal off to the side. Makes it easier to play, makes you do better more consistently. So Bakasura is on my list of gods to play or ban. 100% has been. Talked about it in my video. I banned Baka or I banned this god. The number 1 god on the list is Jing Wei. If you did not know Jing Wei's abilities, her 2 gives you an enhancement on 3 basic attacks, right? And I'm assuming it's still the same. I haven't tested this because I'm not playing this god. I think she's boring, but she's very good. When you pop your 2, it uses it and it goes on cooldown. So you can 2, let it tick down to, be back up again, hit those 3 autos and instantly 2 again. That'll give you 6 auto attacks doing 120% of Jing Wei's physical power. You're also getting a 20% chance to crit. So in a meta where critting is happening, you're getting scaling off of your autos, which is causing your crits to hit that much harder. So she's the hardest hitting, technically, hunter because of the 2. I'm sure Heimdall competes with that, but he has reduced crit damage. So Jing Wei is doing the most damage, the earliest in the game because she has crit earlier than everybody else. She's hyper safe because of her ultimate and because of her dash. Knockups are the best CC in the game. Not for Jing Wei, because you knock her up, she just dips. And then even if that fails or she messes up, she just ults out. She buys a lot of time. She gets a lot of distance. She can go over walls where a lot of gods can't, especially in this meta. She is performing perfectly. She also still has that passive where she flies out of base. So if something goes wrong in lane, you mess up, or you need to rotate, you just back to base, fly right out, get to that team fight, or get back to your lane that much faster than everybody else in the game. But it's mainly this 2 that is making her excel tenfold compared to every other hunter right now. So if you're playing hunter and you want consistent, strong gameplay out of yourself, and you want to play the best character, and you want to play the safest character, and you want to play one of the best team fighting characters right now because she kind of just pumps out pure damage while also having a knockup in her kit for a hunter, which is rare, play Jing Wei. You will see yourself start to just get a lot more wins as long as you're playing these gods when you're comfortable on them, just by playing these gods. Just by playing a Jing Wei over Apollo or playing Jing Wei over, you know, whatever it is you want to play a Heimdall. This is easy to play. You have a dash, you have a knock up, you have good clear, you have insane auto attack damage. Remember that while playing this god. So that's my list of the top 5 gods. It's a pick and ban right now. Amma as just a considerable extra because I think Amma is worth noting. And if you're playing Amma, I think you're probably performing really well if you're good on her. And then outside of that, I am going to be honest, I'm not scared of much else. A lot of the hunters are obviously good because all hunters are performing well right now, but none of them are as scary. It just is what it is. And then in the jungle, same thing. If they have a Mercury that's having a good game or a Baka that's having a good game, it's nearly impossible to counterplay that. Doesn't matter how good you are. It can be very, very difficult in this meta to counterplay that with any other god. They just don't match up as well. So if you get rid of them or you pick them, then you don't have to worry about it. There are many gods that are good in all the roles. I'm not saying every other god sucks. Please realize that. There's a lot of stuff that is playable. Mages are still playable. Warriors are still playable. These are just what are the best, easiest, and strongest for you to play right now. And what I would say you should be playing for the next month at least until the next patch hits. And maybe they nerf some stuff. So have fun playing ranked, have fun playing casuals. These gods are even going to perform really well in a lot of the other game modes. Maybe not Baka because jungling isn't super powerful in a lot of these other game modes, but should still be fun to play. So go ahead, play it, have fun. Let me know in the comments how you guys have been performing on these gods. I'm actually interested if just off your first take before you go and watch this video and then play afterwards, if you've been playing them or if you've been seeing them do well or if you've been banning them. So yeah, hopefully you guys liked the video. If you did, hit the like button, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and I will see you on the video later tomorrow, the next day, and the next day.